My dad, Douglas Charles David Hutton, was born on June 25th, 1946, and passed away on May 4th, 2025. But of course, he was much more than dates on a calendar. Although funny enough, he actually loved dates and numbers, almost obsessively. For example, he had 3 biological children. 2 of us, Chris and I, were born on April 30th, 2 years apart. And then, in a heartbreaking twist of fate, our half-sister Tanya passed away on April 30th, 6 years ago. He might have joked that April 30th was either lucky, cursed, or maybe both. Only he could have found the math in life's chaos. My dad was the most generous person I've ever known. Not in a flashy way. He didn't want attention or applause. He just gave of his time, his energy, his money, his advice, sometimes even when you didn't ask for it. He was the kind of guy who would grumble about helping you move, but then show up at 8 a.m. sharp with coffee and moving blankets, ready to work. Now, I won't lie to you, he didn't have a lot of patience. Whether it was with slow drivers, tangled Christmas lights, or trying to teach a stubborn child how to hold a golf club, hi, that was me, his fuse could be short. But even when he got frustrated, there was love behind it. He might yell, well, he definitely yelled a lot, sure, but 5 minutes later, he'd be making a joke and all would be forgotten. Golf was the love of his life. Sorry to his 3 wives, Lila, Helen, and Kathy, but I think golf may have been the most consistent relationship he ever had. I still remember him making me learn as a kid. I didn't love it, mostly because the golf bag was bigger than I was and I could barely pick it up. But my brother Chris took to it like a duck to water. For years, the 2 of them played every weekend together. I'll admit I'm a little jealous of that time they had, but I also know it was sacred for them. Father and his sonny boy trying to hit it long and straight. Which, by the way, was my dad's actual last words. Hit it long and straight. If that doesn't sum him up perfectly, I don't know what does. My dad had a booming voice. He could project like a drill sergeant, and he had an inappropriate joke for every occasion. Really, every occasion. Sometimes it was mortifying, most of the time it was hilarious. Even in the hospital, in terrible pain, he made the nurses laugh. He had them on their toes constantly, not just because of his wisecracks, but because he was polite and grateful, and even as he was fading, still trying to make people feel appreciated. He didn't like socializing much, though. Ironically, everyone loved him. People were drawn to him. Maybe it was his no-nonsense attitude or the dry wit, or just the sense that he was a rock. Tough, grounded, reliable. My dad was in the Navy in his 20s as an electrician and stayed in the electrical field for the rest of his life. He retired after Bridges' contract with the Vancouver Olympics in 2010, only to go back to work because he was bored. He just loved work. He was supposed to retire for real this October. He was so close, but life had other plans. This past March, he became ill. True to form, he refused to go to the hospital until he physically couldn't stand anymore and fell and broke his hip. That's when we found out. No, it wasn't pneumonia. It was cancer. Stage 4. And it was everywhere. But even though cancer took him officially, I don't believe it's what really broke him. I believe my dad died of a broken heart. He was never the same after Kathy, his great love, his partner, and the person who truly knew him, passed away in March of 2024. There was a sadness in him after she left, a quiet kind of emptiness that even golf couldn't fill. In that poetic, painful way that life sometimes works, my dad passed away almost exactly a year later in May 2025. In the same hospital, with the same doctors, and unbelievably in exactly the same room where Kathy spent some of her final days. He didn't say it out loud, but I think part of him had already decided wherever she was, he wanted to be. In those final weeks, I stayed with him, slept at the hospital, watched him battle unimaginable pain with humor and strength. Even in the worst moments, his humor never left him. One afternoon, his dear friend Penny, who was visiting, asked what song it was that another friend, Gerard, always used to sing. We thought he was too medicated to respond, but suddenly, clear as day, my dad piped up singing, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." We were stunned. He'd been listening to every word. Later that day, I played the song on repeat for him, thinking it brought him comfort. The next day, my brother casually mentioned how he wished he'd recorded that little moment of Dad singing. Again, we assumed Dad wasn't aware, but without missing a beat, he cut in with, "I hate that fucking song." We laughed so hard. Then my brother turned to me and said, "Great, and you played it on loop all day." Even as his body failed, Dad's timing was perfect. His spirit was still so present. And when the time came, he told us he was ready to go. He wanted MAID, medical assistance in dying. But there was red tape, bureaucracy. The doctors wouldn't sign off on it. I saw that he was still lucid, still my dad, so I went to bat for him. I fought hard because he deserved that choice. On April 30th, my and Chris's birthday, we tried to bring joy to the hospital. Friends brought cake, there was laughter, and at the end of the day, Dad looked at us, totally serious, and said, "What the hell went wrong today?" We were both stunned and confused, so asked him what he meant. He replied with, "Why am I still here?" He had gotten it in his head that April 30th, was the day he'd leave. When it didn't happen, he was disappointed. Well, actually furious. He was mad. The moment broke something in me because I could see how ready he was. 4 days later, thanks to advocacy and some compassionate medical staff, he got his wish. The morning, May 4th, he woke up and the first thing he asked me was, "Is today the day?" I told him yes. He narrowed his eyes at me and said, "You'd better not be lying." I wasn't, and for the next few hours he kept checking the clock, at one point convinced it was going backwards. We were all with him, Mike, Kim, Chris, and me, when he passed. It was peaceful, it was dignified, it was him being in control one last time. And just before he left, he whispered, "Hit it long and straight." People have sent me messages since his passing. Many of them I've never met. They told me what a gentleman he was, how important he was to them, how deeply they cared for him. These stories, these memories, they're like puzzle pieces of a man we thought we knew so well, now seen through others' eyes. He was the toughest man I know, and believe me, I've got lots of stories to prove it. Like when he was a kid and got hit by a car crossing a road he wasn't supposed to be on. His arm was broken, but instead of letting the driver take him home, he gave him the wrong house multiple times just to avoid getting in trouble. Or the scar across his hand from grabbing a knife out of someone's hand during a bar fight. Because, as he put it, better to be cut on the outside than stabbed in the gut. That was my dad. Tough as nails, hilarious, generous, occasionally grumpy, okay, maybe more than occasionally, but fiercely loyal and so deeply loved. I miss him so much. I miss him calling me daughter. But more than anything, I'm grateful that he was my dad. I'm grateful for his strength, even when it came out as stubbornness. I'm grateful for the way he challenged me, protected me, believed in me, and loved me, fiercely in his own unique way. I carry the lessons he taught me everywhere I go, to speak up, to stand firm, to laugh when things get hard, and to show up for people you love, no matter what. Even in his final days, he taught me what it means to live and die with dignity, courage, and a whole lot of grit. Thank you, Dad, for everything, your love, your humor, your endless generosity, and the countless ways you shaped who I am. I hope wherever you are now, the skies are clear, the fairways are wide, the jokes are inappropriate, and Kathy is by your side. And I hope more than anything that you're out there, free at peace, hitting it long and straight. I love you.